Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glories to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, rawchaa, qadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles and bishops of Great Millstone who still teach and rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect scattered amongst the four corners of the earth. Those that had the traditional look of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as the speckled bird. Those because we have been scattered amongst all the 17 heathen nations. So every elect Israelite will not come looking like John Shaft or Richard Roundtree or, a so-called Latin, traditional Latin or traditional Native American. To all of you, I say Shalom. This is just a quick video to back up Revelations chapter 13, talking in reference to the mark of the beast. Let me get to Revelations real quick. Because you noticed, I want to read this. I'm going to read the scripture, and then I'm going to show how in modern times, how it has always been underneath Esau Edom's rule here in Babylon the Great. It's Revelation chapter 16 or chapter 13, verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark on their right hand or in their forehead. To receive a mark in their right hand. I'm sorry, let me start that over. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So you're basically saying if you don't take that, anyone who doesn't take that mark of hip will be ostracized from society, and be outcasted or tortured and or killed. But you see how that structure is already erected all over the world. But mainly I want to say here in Babylon, like say you claim you're a homeowner and you own the house. Well, if you don't pay the property tax on the house, you'll lose the house. With your vehicle, if you don't pay for your insurance or renew your tax and or pay your taxes, auto insurance, your tax and tags, renewing those, you'll lose your vehicle. So you see, it's the same structure where it's like if you don't comply with their rules and their regulations, you're ostracized. You'll lose things and possessions. Like Klaus Schwab said, the former, I think it was CEO or president of the World Economic Forum. He says, you will own nothing and be happy. That's been the case here in Babylon for the longest. But this video I got queued up right here, is showing how Esau Edom, now my phone's acting just slow. Look at this. Is putting a squeeze on other countries. You see right there in that video. Hold on. In this video it says, bear with me. You see what it says right there? Why we are always at war with countries who refuse the family's financial system. The family being the Rothschild, Rockefellers, the banking families of the self-proclaimed so-called white man, which are the elite Edomites. They know that they're Edomites. I just did a lesson, my live lesson this past Saturday showed that they have places here in Babylon named one of the cities in ancient Edom, which was Basra. They have one here in America. They have a place called Sodom in America. They have a place called Gomorrah in America, a place called Egypt, a place called Cairo, as well as a place called Memphis, as well as a place called Chaldeans. All right. So, but this is just a quick video. A few countries that were on the list was Cuba, Argentina. No, it wasn't Argentina, was it? No, it wasn't Argentina. It was another Central South American country that they had planned to. I think it was Ecuador. But basically, they do this here in America and Babylon, and they do this abroad, aka like right here it says why they're always at war, and they're doing the same with Iran because, or in this video they're going to take away from Cuba because they don't have the bankers don't have puppet leaders set up to govern Cuba. All right, like down in Mexico, they got a tiny top female president, and they're getting ready to go digital with their digital credit system. Okay, and Lord willing, I'll do a lesson on that. But this is fair use, fair use, fair use. This is from the brother Arrows of Indignation. If I can pull it up. Oh Lord, now my phone is just acting janky. Come on, man. Here we go. All right, this is right here. That's the name of the brother's page right yonder. Arrows of Indignation 144. The name of this video is "This will help you understand if you have the eye salve to see." Yeah, and that eye salve can only be given from the Most High Power, whose name is Yahweh. It's the name of the Most High by way or in the name Bahasham Yahushua, that's the name of his son, who the world fraudulently calls JC. Bahasham in the name, Rawchaa, holy, qadash, spirit. So this is just a quick video of the brother explaining what I just explained to you. And this has the same bones or what I guess platform or structure that they're going to be using for the MOTB, where it's like if you don't comply with their new form technocracy here in Babylon, as well as amongst the rest of the world, then yeah, you're going to suffer harsh penalties. But without further ado, fair use, fair use, fair use. Fair use underneath the Copyright Act of 1976. Copyright disclaimer under the Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Here we go.
There are only a few countries left that completely refuse this family's central banking system. And ironically, those are the exact same countries we constantly go to war with. And many people believe the pattern is hiding in plain sight. To understand this idea, we first need to understand how the modern financial system works. Today, almost every country in the world has a central bank. These central banks manage the money supply, control interest rates, and are connected to the global financial system dominated by the US dollar. Because the dollar is the world's main currency, most international trade, loans, and financial transactions move through a system heavily influenced by Western financial institutions. This system gives enormous economic power to the countries that control it, but a few nations have tried to operate outside this system or resist being fully controlled by it. And interestingly, those same countries often end up under sanctions, economic pressure, or even military conflict. Now, this does not automatically mean wars happen only because of banking system.
No, but and he's right. It doesn't mean automatic wars happen, but they have what Edom has something when countries don't comply called economic hitmen. All right, where they damage them through their way of life, their economy. And with this one, Nero cut off the oil supply down there to Cuba. And mind you, them so-called Cubans are the tribe of Manasseh. All right, one of the three warrior tribes of our nation. All right, but they're down there suffering, being judged,
Wars are complicated. They involve politics, security, ideology, and resources. But critics of the global system often point out something important. In the modern world, money is power. If you control the financial system, you can influence trade, investments, and even entire economies. And if a country refuses to follow the rules of that system, it can quickly become isolated. That is why some people believe global conflicts are not always just about politics or security. Sometimes they may also be about control over the financial system itself. Whether you believe this theory or not, the pattern has made many people ask a simple question: why we are always at war with countries who refuse to follow this central banking system.
Cuba's electricity grid has now completely collapsed. The whole island is out of power after the US effectively starved it of fuel. So no fuel means no electricity, it means no water, unless you can afford to buy it very expensively from the black market, and there are now reports that even that is a struggle. So this is the first national outage. There have been local outages before, which have kept the island going, but when the whole system goes down, it's much harder to get back up and running again. So this is becoming critical. So not having electricity has been an inconvenience perhaps, but now it could very quickly turn into a humanitarian crisis if the hospitals can't operate, if the emergency services can't get about, not to mention what's happening in schools and homes. So President Trump is the only person who can solve this by allowing oil to get to the island again. They had relied on oil from Venezuela, but Trump effectively cut that off. It's just not very clear what Trump wants from Cuba to allow.
But that's what they want from Cuba, is to, have their leaders, their current leaders in office to comply, and allow the Rothschilds to set up a banking system over there where they run and control the moves that the the rulers of Cuba over there to comply with the Rothschilds' way of life and implement it on the people. But if they can't do that, then this is the kind of stuff that people go through. They get cut off, you know. And like I said, it's the same structure that will be applied during that time of Esau trying to establish his new world order with the mark of the beast. You know, somebody doesn't want to comply with taking the micro C hip anywhere on their persons, they will be ostracized or taken to, you know, a concentration camp where they could be tortured and or killed. So we're all entering into that time, and that's a part of Jacob's trouble. You know, Lord willing, you know, the Lord will have mercy on me and put the spirit on me to endure to the end. And the same, I mean that the same for the rest of you out there in the four corners of the earth, wherever you are that find this video.
Now, this stranglehold and the island effectively to be released.
Jeanette prepares the charcoal to make her dinner for the evening with the help of the light of a torch. She's a pediatric physiotherapist and lives alone in her two-bedroom flat. Much of her extended family live in the blocks around her in town. Getting by is just a way of life for Jeanette. She'd like more, but there isn't more. Like so many Cubans we've met, she's scared about the future and afraid about what may happen to her country. Donald Trump says he wants to bring about huge changes in Cuba, that the blockade is to try and bring about those changes. The people in Cuba resent this interference.
Al final, el mismo pueblo es el que ha tenido que tomar todas las consecuencias para el cambio que puede ocurrir. La necesidad ha aumentado. El pueblo es quien lo está sufriendo día a día.
Invited to come and meet a family who live in this apartment block. Some of them have lights. It's solar power batteries that they've got. They're on about the third floor, I think, of this apartment. This is their electricity meters. Not doing anything. Actually, they're completely stationary. No power at all. They can often go days without power here. But we're going to go out and see what life like. Oscar is a physics and maths teacher. Perhaps unsurprisingly, he's rigged up a system to keep the lights on at home. It's a short-term fix, but it is effective. Oscar and his wife Lisa, an English teacher, live here with their son. Oscar takes home about £10 a month as a teacher. All government wages are poor, so he holds down 3 other jobs to try to make ends meet. They aren't happy with their lives, but they don't see Donald Trump as their savior. They prefer Cuba to do better. The American blockade is making things worse.
Ante el mandato de Trump teníamos problemas, pero esto ha sido peor, mucho peor todo. Transporte, siembra, los mismos apagones han aumentado la cantidad. Es muy difícil mantener la comida en refrigeradores, tenemos que comprar diario. ¿Entiendes? Entonces, ha sido mucho más difícil, como nunca he visto.
Okay, so that's the end of that video. And now the reason why this is happening, you know, here as well as other places like that, is this right here. It's just Jeremiah chapter 30. We're in this time right here and now, and it's only going to get worse. They just declared that the draft is going to be, people are going to be automatically drafted as of December of this year, 2026. Today's date is April 20th, 2026. But I can guarantee you a lot of them tiny tops that are here in Babylon their children will not be getting drafted, and then they will continue to remain to get welfare checks from American taxpayers, while the American taxpayers' children and are sent over there to die for the Edomites, the elite Edomites, to further extend their colonization globally and to be sacrificed. This is Jeremiah chapter 30, verses 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. The he that shall be saved out of it is the elect, the 144,000 and the innumerable multitude. And with the way Esau is moving and with what speed and veracity he's moving, there has never been a time like this where they're saying there's water and gas shortages, but there's water and gas everywhere, like in the natural state, like in the earth and stuff. But Esau Edom's putting a clamp down on everybody and everyone. Now, that fact that it said here in Jeremiah 30 and 7, but he shall be saved out of it, is pursuant to Zechariah chapter 13 and 8, and talking about the he that shall be saved out of it is the elect, the 1/3. The Most High sending his only begotten Son, only to gather up the 1/3, and what Esau calls so-called UFOs and UAPs, which are the chariots of Israel, and they only pick up Israelites. I got that from Elder Apostle Gabar. But in terms of the 1/3, and 2/3 of our people are going to die here in one of various ways. The final way is if they take the mark of the beast, they will get hit with thermonuclear fire here in Babylon. But this is Zechariah 13 and 8 to back up Jeremiah 30, verse 7. Zechariah 13 and 8, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the 3rd shall be left therein. These are the Lord's words. Verse 9, and I will bring the 3rd part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem rawchaa qadash is my power. So the Lord is going to put the Spirit on the elect, as well as give them spiritual compass and guidance to guide them through these tumultuous times as we are all getting ready to be tried. Lord willing, I and those of you that find this video and to the hopeful elect around the 4 corners of the earth are of the elect, Lord willing, we all will endure to the end. So with that, I just want to give all praise, honor, and glories to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem rawchaa qadash. Double honor to the elders, apostles, bishops, the great millstone who still teach and rule well. And like the Spirit always has, Elder Apostle Ricard always say, we need to keep our medicine, which is our prayer, strong. Now this here is the Lord's Prayer. And like the Spirit said through Elder Yashawamba of the Dallas camp, say this is a full spectrum prayer. In our custom, we read from right to left. So that's why the word Lord is on the right and prayer is on the left. Now the way these columns are set up, those symbols are the way you spell it in the Paleo Hebrew. This is how you say it. And then the 3rd column, this is what it means. So you would say, the way I do it is I face the east, like it says in Matthew 6 and 6. And the Lord's Prayer right here is in Matthew chapter 6, verses 9 through 13. I go to my closet, and then I face the earth on my hands and knees, and I face the earth, and then I face the east too. And I say the Lord's Prayer. And the way I do it is Abba Nawa, our Father, Shabbat Shemayim, which in heaven, Qadash holy, Hayabi, Shemka your name, Yahweh, Most High, Malik Wathka, your kingdom, Thaba Ratazaka your will, Hayabi, Ishadun, Ba'arataza in earth, Kawa as, Hayabi, Bashamayim in heaven, Lathin Lanawa, give us, Lacha'am bread, Call Yawam all day, Wasaluk Lanawa, forgive us, Cha'awa with Nawa our debts, Kasaluk Nawa, as we forgive, Cha'awa with Yanawa our debtors, Wala'al and not, Thabiyat Nawa lead us, Banasiyawan in temptation, a ball, but Hawashinawa deliver us, Mayan from Ra evil, Kaya for, Lakata you, Hamalek Waf the kingdom, Wahala and the power, Wahat the power, Roth and the glory, Lomalumya forever, Aman, Aman. The name of the Most High is Yahweh, Yah meaning he, Hawa means exist. The name of the only begotten Son is Yahushua, Yah meaning he, Yahushua means the deliverer. Remember, I just read to you right here in the Lord's Prayer, that word right there, Hawa Shanawa. So that word Hawa Shai, Nawa, Hawashai means deliver. Nawa means us. So Yahawashai. You put the YA before the Hawashai, it means he is the deliverer. All right. So with that, I hope that this has been enlightening to you on the nature of reality, as it always is to me. Lord willing, there'll be a next time where I can make a video, do a post. The name of my channel is the MOTB is here too. The name of the last 4 elder apostles on earth is on YouTube is beginning with Elder Apostle Tahar. His channel is What is the 666 Mark II GMS Truth. Elder Apostle Ricard, his channel is GMS Keep Pushing On. Now, when you go to his page, you want to go to the live section of his page, because that's how the Lord has him doing a live every day. Whenever the Lord has him do it. And the same applies to Elder Apostle Aram Lob's channel, whose channel is GMS Info Doc Channel 12, as well as Apostle Gabar, whose channel is Daily Edification 4. Okay, so with that, I hope those of you that find this, enlightening and comforting and inspiring and edifying. To the next time, Lord willing, there is one. Shalom.